Hey everyone, I had here. Now we have had quite a year in the field of tech. There's been many laptop releases, many phone releases, many chipsets released, Tensors, the Snapdragons, the A17 Pro, the A16 and the rest of them, and the M2s, the M3s. There's been quite a lot to talk about this year. But as the year ends, I made this video just to tell you all the perfect devices to go for and perfect in the world of iOS and the world of Android. Now there are two devices that take this position to be called perfect, yeah, because I factored in almost every possible realistic, factor because MKBHD and Mr. Hosey Boss made a video, but yeah, they said the 15 Pro Max was the best phone to go for the S23 Ultra, but the majority of the tech base or the tech fan base can't really go for the best devices. I mean, there are a lot more people that are willing to go for the more budget-ish kind of devices. So I'm making this video with that in mind. Yeah, so subscribe to my channel for more updates like this and let's get straight into it. Now, the best Android phone is a Samsung, obviously. That's the one I'll recommend you to go for in terms of value and every single thing all around for 2023. But you see, the S22 series, when they got released, there was an issue. Yeah, Samsung made a perfect looking device as usual, but the chipset was kind of rushed. That was the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. I mean, the chipset was so kind of flawed that they had to release the 8 Plus Gen 1 later that year. But that's never made its way to any Samsung flagship except, the Galaxy Z Fold 4s and Z Flip 4s. Yeah, so that's exactly what happened. So the S22 was that device, or is that Samsung that I would never really recommend anyone to go for. But the S23 on the other hand, the base 6.1 or 0.2 inch S23 is the best value Android phone in my opinion for you to go for if you need an Android phone that ticks almost all the boxes this year. And I'll tell you why. Now when you consider the quality of the device all around, when you hold the device, the device has the updated Samsung look. Yeah, it looks quite different on the back side from the S22 or S21. Yeah, the S22 and S21 are more alike. The S23 is like a whole new device. Now when you look at the back, it's frosted, it's matte, it's fingerprint resistant. Perfect. That's exactly what a build should be like. It's lightweight, it has an aluminum frame, and it has quite a strong glass in the front of the device. The Gorilla Victus 2 glass. Yeah, and that's quite strong and quite durable for an Android phone of its level. The S23 was literally every single thing an Android user could ask for. And best, it runs Samsung's One UI, which is one of the most customizable, good-looking default skins there is to any Android OS or Android skin. When you talk about network, the S23 has better connectivity than even an iPhone 14 Pro or 15. Yeah, it has better connectivity. I mean, that has been shown many times when you run a network connectivity test or a speed test, when you connect them to the same either cellular or Wi-Fi network, the Samsung always outperforms it. It has Wi-Fi 6E, which is only present on the latest 15 Pro Maxes, which aren't really the competitors for the S23. When you talk about the display of the S23, it has 120 Hz, perfect. It ticks almost every box. It ticks like, brightness. Everybody's concerned about brightness lately. It's 1715 nits of peak brightness, and that's very quite sufficient, to be honest. All those 2000 plus nits, they're not really realistic because before you know, they begin to drop due to temperatures. Yeah, the sunlight that it's meant for actually doesn't even allow it to work for long because of the heat. It begins to drop to save itself. So it's not really realistic, in my opinion. And the high brightness mode is quite good enough, 1200 nits HBM. The display is full HD plus 1080 by 2340. It's 475 pixels per inch, which is on the best level it should be to prevent something like OLED screen burn. Yeah, all that UHD on a 6.1 inch display was a very bad idea, and I'm glad Samsung finally learned from that. The phone supports Android 13 and Android 14, currently at One UI 6.0, and definitely should take Android 15 and Android 16 also. So if you buy the S23, you still have a pretty good lifespan and longevity when you talk about software updates. And also it runs the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, yeah, for Galaxy, and it's 100 megahertz faster than the regular 8 Gen 2s for other non-Galaxy devices. So it's more superior, and the 8 Gen 2 has proven itself to be very reliable. I mean, there is barely any complaints this year with any phone that has the 8 Gen 2. And they're about to release an 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. I think next month you should see something like that by the end of the month. The phone is 8 gig RAM. Yeah, there is no 12 gig variant, just 8 gig all through. And there is 128, 256, 512. You should go for the 256 or 512 if you want UFS 4.0. Yeah, 128 is UFS 3.1, which is kind of backdated. Samsung really got a lot right in the S23 series. When you talk about the speed, the cameras, yeah, the cameras are perfect, yeah, and they take better looking shots than the iPhone 13 in my opinion, especially when you talk about night shots. Yeah, I mean, these are two sample shots taken by the S23 and the iPhone 13, and you can see which one reigns supreme. Obviously, in the video taking feed, the iPhone 13 should beat it. Yeah, but for pictures, the S23 has a win in that department. The battery is also perfect. I mean, you can charge it once a day. It gives up to 8 hours of screen on time at peak level, and it's 3900 milliampere hours. Yeah, so that's basically it. And I think you can even get a deal for that phone at $400, 400 and something dollars. I mean, on Amazon UK, I saw a deal for £490 in the UK. So that's why I said it's one of the best values, because when you pay that relatively little as opposed to trying to get something like a 14 Pro, which doesn't even have Type-C, which most people are interested in, you would get basically the same level of performance, but for a much higher price and missing some, customizable software features. So I would expect, yeah, it's actually better to get the S23. Now, for the best iPhone, value-wise, yeah, I don't mean the latest, the best for you to get as far as the value goes, I would recommend the iPhone 13 Pro. Not the Pro Max, just the 13 Pro. If you want the bigger size, you could go for the Pro Max. And everything I was saying now also includes the Pro Max, but I'm going to focus more on the Pro. Now, why did I call the 13 Pro when there is the 14 and the 15 Pro or Pro Maxes? Now, you see, that phone ticks every single box you should expect an iPhone or a good flagship to tick. Let me start from the build quality. It's stainless steel, which in my opinion is more durable than the titanium on the 15 Pro and Pro Max. Yeah, you can see when Jerry Rig bent them, they snapped like a couple of dry pancakes. Yeah, so I won't really call that durable, but the aluminium and stainless steel are quite better shock absorbers. I mean, they transmit shock to the glass in a more balanced and effective way than the titanium. Yeah, the titanium just shatters the glass entirely. Now you see, it has a frosted back glass. It has a very premium build, the flat design that most iPhones are known to have nowadays. And when you talk about the network, it has Snapdragon's X65 modem. It's not as fast as the latest Samsung or S23, but it's quite good enough. Yeah, it has dual eSIM, or either a physical SIM and an eSIM. So you can even have two eSIMs active in the phone without needing a physical SIM. And almost every single good thing about the new Pro model iPhones all came in the iPhone 13 Pro, from macro shots in the camera to ProMotion to 1000 nits HBM, although that one just has 1200 nits peak brightness. But like I said, you won't really need more than that in a realistic daytime. Yeah, I mean, what matters more is the HBM, and as long as it's up to 1000 nits and it sustains that, you're good to go. The display of an iPhone 13 Pro supports every single tech it should. It's LTPO, I think 10 to 120 Hz, so it can save your battery by dynamically adjusting the refresh rate when the high one is not really needed. And it supports Dolby Vision. Yeah, so I think when it comes to viewing content or consuming content iPhone screens are always the best for that. Even a 60Hz iPhone display supports more, the latest viewing technologies than even the best Samsungs out there. I don't know, Apple is just very good at calibrating their screens to support everything in a very accurate color scenario. Yeah, they use the P3 scaling, but yeah, the resolution of the display of the iPhone 13 Pro is 1170 by 2532. Yeah, and that's around 460 pixels per inch. That's higher than the 6.1-inch iPhone, so you get more color there. And in my opinion, the display is better than a Samsung's display. It's just better. I mean, they got the 120 Hz much better, and that's coupled with iOS animations is just a dream. Now, when you talk about the performance of the iPhone 13 Pro, it supports 120 Hz. Even Call of Duty Mobile supports 120 Hz. So it's all you need is just to play it without the phone case on, and you enjoy it. It's perfect for gaming. 6 gigs of RAM. It's just exactly the best level of RAM that an iPhone should have, because the RAM on iOS is very good. I mean, 4 gig is quite obsolete. Yeah, 6 gig is just the best point. Even the base model of 15 uses 6 gigs. Yeah, we know there's 8 gigs, but that was just overkill for the console level graphics games like Resident Evil that Apple released recently for those two phones. Supports up to iOS 17.2. It came out iOS 15, so I think we should still go all the way to iOS 21 before we stop getting updates. So you still get up to 4 years of updates, I think, with the iPhone 13 Pro, which is a very good bet. Obviously, you'll have changed this before then. Yeah, and there is more to talk about. The 13 Pro goes all the way to 1 terabyte to 6 gigs of RAM. So there's enough storage options to choose from, and it's NVMe, which is very fast and very efficient. Now, the best part is the cameras. Yeah, the 13 series is where Apple really picked the cameras. The 13 Pro supports all the major features a camera should have, except action mode and the 24 megapixel shots, which aren't really a big deal because you still get very good shots with 12 megapixels with OIS and OIS on telephoto. Yeah, you get telephoto lens for the, it's better than getting a base 15 in my opinion, or a base 14. You also get the power to take a macro shot, and you get ProRAW, ProRes, which are movie standards, but at least you get them in your phone. It's left for you to decide what you want to do with them. And don't forget, yeah, I forgot to mention, you get a 5-core GPU for graphics, which is better than the 4-core GPU on the 12 Pro Max and the 4-core GPU on the base 13. Yeah, you get 5-core GPU, and that runs almost every graphic intensive iOS stuff perfectly. Not even almost, every single one. Yeah, 5-core GPU still gives up to 20,000 in the metal test in Geekbench 6, and that's excellent. Honestly, if you're someone on a budget and you want the best camera for your money, the 13 Pro is definitely a route I would advise you to take. Yeah, because that phone just does the camera stuff perfectly. You get macro, like when you buy the phone, you don't really get left out of the features that are on the Pro models. I think the phone even has the power to shoot spatial video for the Apple Vision Pro, and that's very good. For connectivity, you get Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.0, regular and quite good enough to the standard. Yeah, no 5.3 or 6E, but not bad anyways. Now, the battery is one area that I want to really talk about. You see, there's been reports of the 14 series and how they really dropped very fast in battery health. The 13 series doesn't really have that issue. I mean, someone that bought the 14 Pro after I bought my 13 is on 87% battery health already. Sorry, the 14 Pro Max. And I that bought my 13 long before she bought that, I still have 86%. So, and most 13 users will confirm this. Battery health drops at a very reasonable pace. And even the 13 Pro Max, the battery still stands very strong when compared to the 15 and 14 Pro Max. In some cases, they actually beat them. Yeah, but some cases. And so I think it's quite a very good phone in terms of battery. Yeah, you won't really lose that much. When it comes to pricing, it's even costly more than the S23 for some reason, but you can get it at up to $500. Yeah, as low as that. You can even find maybe a refurbished deal for 400 and something if you're lucky on Amazon. So I think that's basically it. The best Android phone to go for is the S23, and the best iPhone to go for is the iPhone 13 Pro in my opinion. So if you have any further questions, don't forget to hit me up in the comments and like the video, let me know your thoughts, and that's basically it. I heard you out.